Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are hope you are all having an amazing day so far. We are back at it again for another amazing conversations. I call these more than just topics. I call these conversations. And just recently, our topics and our conversations has been sparking up some great conversations from you guys. So we've had many of y'all who reached out to us, text message us, left comments on how amazing these topics are that Miyoko and I come at you with you guys every single week. So we're definitely listening and taking heed to all the amazing positivity. And we notice that many times whenever we are having high level conversations or we're having high level topics, right? There are going to be some people who may be triggered, right? And that's okay. That's okay because this is a process, this is a journey, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Okay. So I want to first give a huge shout out to our show producer, Therese. She's in the chat with you guys in the comments. She's sharing out the live, getting it out to all the group chats. I want to also thank my co-host, Miyoko, who's going to be logging on in just a second. This week is his birthday week, right? So if he doesn't get a chance to hop on, that is okay. I would definitely be more than happy and more than honored to do today's show solo, but he should be hopping on in just a few. Now, we have a great topic to talk to you guys about today. So those of you who happen to be tuning in on the replay, do me a quick favor. Go ahead and type in hashtag replay right now. We absolutely love all of our replay viewers. Those of you who come on, you watch the replay, you are chatting it out. Some of y'all are our comment police. I love those of y'all. Shout out to all of our comment police, okay? When y'all see something in the comments that ain't right, that don't make no sense, that's all out foolishness, and nonsense, we love for you guys to come on and be like, hey, Coach, hey, Letitia, look over here. Because at the end of the day, guys, our heart is our heart, and that's what God looks at. God, let me tell y'all, don't look at what the enemy looks at. Don't focus on what the enemy say. God knows your heart. God sees your heart. At the end of the day, there's no level of defending that you should or need to or should be doing for yourself if you are growing and evolving. Someone told me this the other day. I had an amazing conversation with someone the other day, and the person said, wherever there is good, come on now, whenever you are doing something good, whenever you are doing something amazing, whenever you are changing lives, Miyoko and I are doing, we are changing lives. You don't have to be perfect to change lives. You don't have to be perfect to impact people. You don't have to be making millions and billions of dollars and living in mansions and 50,000 square foot houses to impact people's lives. You just show up and you create a space and you spark up conversations and you help influence people. And that's all the change people need in this world. So many people in this world are just taking up space, right? Just taking up space, you know. And Miyoko and I, every single day of our lives, we focus on doing more than that. Okay, so I want to thank all of our supporters. I really love and extremely love you guys so much. We love you guys. We created this Your Brand, Your Breakthrough Evolution movement just for you guys. So we really, truly, and honestly appreciate that. Okay, so for those of you who are new to watching me, my name is Letitia Campbell. I call myself the #1 email marketing strategist. I'm also a thought leader, okay? And I have been doing this, building online, helping women all over the world online for almost 10 years. And I absolutely love doing this. This is my passion. This is my love. I absolutely love it. I'm an amazing mother of 5 awesome children. Miyoko is an amazing father of his daughter. And like I said, y'all, this is his birthday week, y'all. So y'all make sure y'all wish him a happy birthday in the chat because his birthday is coming up very soon. It's not today. It's not today, but it's coming up later on this week. So I'm gonna leave it up to him to let you guys know what the day is, right? Because I don't want to give it away, right? So before we get started, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping. We have a tour coming up, guys. We have a tour coming up. I really want to focus on our very first stop, okay? I want to focus. We're going to be in New York, Maryland, Georgia, and Texas. But I want to focus on our very first stop, which is going to be here in New York. Thank you, Therese. Which is going to be here in New York on August 16th. Somebody put that in the chat for me. August 16th is going to be our very first stop here in New York. Okay. So I want you guys to make sure that if you can't come to New York, right, on August 16th and join us in person. That's okay. We have live stream tickets available. We have live stream tickets available. So make sure you go ahead and grab your live stream ticket. If you have any questions about the tour, make sure you can reach out to myself. You can reach out to Therese. You can reach out to Miyoko. We'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Now, this is a way different event you've ever attended, guys. This is more than just a workshop. This is more than just a conference. This is an opportunity for you to be able to get more clarity on your message, more clarity on your personal branding, and really get out there and show up online and offline with confidence. Now, hello. Oh my God. I was telling everybody, I know I gave it away, I can't hold water. I was saying your birthday's coming up this week, so you but I didn't give
this Friday. This Friday.
This Friday. I didn't want to give them the day because I know sometimes some men don't want to say their age or when their birthday is.
I will not be 45.
Oh! 45. I mean, I knew that, but I know a lot of people didn't know.
I don't care. Aging is a beautiful thing.
Say that again.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a blessing to age.
Yes. So Miyoko's in a villa today. I'm just so jealous.
Yeah, listen.
I should have driven out and we could have did this live there.
Man. That's actually a good idea. So this place, I'm gonna tell you about this place offline. This is somewhere we actually could literally go out and shoot content and maybe actually host something. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
I can imagine. I was looking
and it's secluded online. And it's peaceful. There's golf courses. There's indoor pools, outdoor pools. There's a game room. There's all types of things to do outside. Mm-hmm. A little bit. I'm gonna take my daughter to there's like this little water fountain thing where she could just play in the water.
Right.
Swimming, all that type of stuff out here. And the rooms and the villas are incredible. Actually, I think this place you can actually do timeshares. So there's actually timeshare owners out here too. I saw them being walked around and things like that earlier. So this is a much needed kind of little hiatus away from everything. So
yeah.
I'm actually excited to do it from here because it's a whole different energy, man.
I know, I could tell your aura. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if you guys know this. I know some of y'all joining on the replay. Nice. You seem more relaxed. You seem more. I like it.
We gotta do more of this.
Yes.
More of this.
Absolutely.
And they gotta do more of this.
Yes. I think, getting away is so important. We're going to definitely get back to that with the tour and everything else we have planned. But I'm happy you're there with your daughter and all that and having a good time.
And my mama.
And your mama. Oh, how's she doing?
Man, listen. She got one of them king size beds. I think my mom just got up probably like 20 minutes ago.
Leave her alone. I
had to go check up on her, make sure she was still alive. That's how she was sleeping.
Listen, you better be careful because your mom one of the people that come up from behind be like, what you say?
You're right from the side.
And I would laugh. I'm sorry. No,
right out the door.
Yes. But I was doing a little bit of housekeeping. We didn't get started yet. So you came on at a great time. I was really talking about the tour and how, people need to make sure they grab their tickets and all that. And I know for a lot of y'all who already grabbed your tickets, some of you were in conversations with, so you're going to get your tickets. But the main impact of the tour is really helping you guys with your personal brand so it could genuinely reflect who you are. I love the aspect of, and someone mentioned this to me the other day, confidence, right? Mm-hmm. And what we're going to also share on the tour is teach you guys how to be more confident, because you can sell anything as long as you have confidence, right? Sure. Online and offline. And I know when people walk away with that tool alone, right? Not only are they going to make a lot of money, but they're going to help a lot of people. Right. They're going to help a lot of people. So that's very important. But we're going to go ahead and get into today's topic. And I didn't announce what the topic is yet. Right. I was sharing with everyone how we love our supporters. We love, what we may talk about on this show every week. It may trigger some things. More importantly, it helps a lot of people. Let's say that for one. What we share helps a lot of people who come on and watch. But for those who are working through their journey, working through their process, it may be triggering. So this is a particular topic that, we want to talk about where it comes to, Why does your message feel messy? Right? We live in this digital space where you can literally go on your phone or your tablet or your computer and watch a lot of mess
Right.
all day long. It's never enough mess online. Like, so, and you know, arguably so. And I had this conversation with somebody a couple of years ago, especially when my other partner and I were developing the sister to sister connection. We were like, this channel is not going to be a mess channel. We're going to be gossiping and all that stuff. Because once you go that route, it's hard to get back on track.
Right.
Because I know everybody starts out with their social media. I'm just speaking those of you who run a business. I know those of you who run a business, you start out on social media and you want to share positivity. You want to share what you're offering. You want to help people, but somehow it got a little left, right? Where now it's going to venting and over exaggeration. And I'm gonna let you definitely take the baton, Miyoko, because you definitely came up with this topic for today. So yes, tell everybody how you feel about all this mess.
I feel like we have to balance the lines between emotional intelligence and venting. I know we're gonna get into that a little bit later on in this, but I feel as though they're misinterpreting what people mean by you have to be more vulnerable, you have to be more transparent. I think people don't balance out what those two things mean. I feel like vulnerability is letting people know certain aspects of your life, your experiences in a way that connects your audience and gives them an idea of who you are. But don't get to the point where you're telling everything and information that's unnecessary. There's a lot of unnecessary information that's being put out there and it's being masked as I'm being vulnerable, I'm being honest, I'm being truthful. Well, there's a certain way you want to actually deliver that information. And there's just certain things that people don't have to know. It's not relevant to your story and relevant to them relating to you. And that's kind of what we want to talk about a lot more today. How do you draw that line? How do you have that particular boundary? What's the balance between vulnerability and transparency and venting and just saying way too much? Because you don't want to use your audience as the therapist couch. And we'll kind of get into that in a little bit. We can go on into the first point, Letitia, because if you know me, I'm just going to start going in on this.
Right. I was just about to do that. So in reflecting what you're saying, that's soundboard, our audience, using our audience as our soundboard. So you're venting, right? This is why your messaging feels messy, because you're just venting, right? I know, Miyoko, you have a lot to say about that, so I'm gonna let you go ahead.
Well, I have a lot of being what I do. There's a lot of people that, and it's just kind of me and you have had this conversation offline many times. When it comes to a lot of people and what we do, even people that are personal friends, associates, things like that.
Right.
Sometimes they try to use us as sounding boards. Sometimes that's okay. But then there's this codependency, and then they start venting and they start rehashing everything. And if you're not careful, it'll burn you out. You'll take on that same energy. So this is what you're doing to your audience when you're doing this. You're venting, you're vomiting all this information to them.
Right.
You know, you think you're being transparent, you're being vulnerable, but you're burning them out.
Right.
With all the information that you're sharing. One, it's not relevant to how you can help them. Two, it's not relevant to what they can relate to. And three, it's just unnecessary information that they don't need to know. And then it's overload. So there's no tactical strategy.
Right.
There's nothing they're getting out of it. You're just releasing emotion to your audience.
Right.
And that will turn your audience off faster than you can possibly imagine. So no venting. That's not what we mean by being vulnerable and transparent. You're not venting.
Right.
So let me give you an example of venting. All right. So I write a post and I say, this happened to me the other day. Got on a call with the client. The client said they didn't like my services. They didn't like my products. We argued, went back and forth. And I was so angry. And this is what it reminds me that I don't want to work with these type of clients because these clients get on my nerves. I lose sleep. They frustrate me. They stress me out.
Yep.
I'm just so angry right now. I don't know what to do with myself. Maybe I'll take a walk. I don't know. But I'm just so angry right now.
Right.
I'm tired of having clients like this.
Right.
This is why I'm not making any money. This is why I'm not making the money that I need in my business. I am so upset right now. This is why entrepreneurship sucks.
Yep.
This is why I'm considering going back, getting another job. Like, do you see what I'm doing here?
Yep. I see what you're doing.
If you're listening to me, you're just like, yo, will he please shut up?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
This is too much.
Yep.
Instead of this way. Just got off the phone with the client. The client was very unreasonable. They weren't satisfied. And you know, sometimes in this game, you learn that not everybody's going to be satisfied with you. But what I've learned is not everybody is your person. This is what I've learned. Not everybody is your people. So in this experience, I took on somebody. I may have had my doubts about this particular client. And it turned out that my doubts were correct. Now, not that the client is a bad person, not that I'm a bad coach, but it just wasn't a good fit. So the lesson here, everybody, is that if you have an intuition that this is not going to be the right client for you, no matter how much money, if it's not a good fit, don't do it. You're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing client disservice, and you're wasting each other's time. What I learned is moving forward, I'm going to do a better job at vetting who I work with.
Absolutely.
And to avoid this situation.
Right.
And I suggest that you do the same.
That's right. That's empowerment.
I didn't invent.
Yeah,
what I did is I showed you a situation that I've learned. I showed you a situation that was tough. I shared with my epiphany what I learned from it, and then I told you how it could benefit you moving forward.
Right.
That's the difference. I didn't just talk about the experience and how it made me feel and how life stinks and how I'm just gonna go get a hoagie because I'm hungry now and I'm just fed up. I want to walk away from my laptop. Like, right. You have to be empowering your audience at all times. Be it through a tactical strategy, be it through an experience that you've experienced and you've learned from, or be it from this is how I help people. Right. It has to be that way. So we're not venting. Venting is what you do to therapists and psychiatrists and all those things. Do not use your audience for these purposes.
Yeah.
At all.
I think even within our Your Brain, Your Breakthrough, we're creating that community for you guys. So y'all can, if that is in fact that you need to vent, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm playing devil's advocate. We vent because it feels good. At some point, that's why people do it. They go online and they do the whole venting because after the fact it feels good. But the other side of that is it does kill your credibility. So with this whole Your Brain, Your Breakthrough evolution, we're creating that space. So in case you guys need to do that, do it in front of people like myself and Miyoko that's going to allow you to have that safe space, but also empower you to say, hey, let's transition. It's just how Miyoko just did just now. Absolutely. Right. Brings us to our second point. Because listen, Miyoko's at a villa right now. I want to make sure he gets back to having a good time. So we're going to be on here for hours.
No, this is a good time right here.
Okay.
This is a good time.
So you're talking about nothing, right? You're talking about there's a lot of people that are doing that online. You know, we've done it in the past, right? Where we're throwing our emotional dumping. Emotional dumping.
Well, this is beyond venting. This one right here is beyond venting.
Yes.
You're just talking about. See, when you're venting, you're talking about everything emotional, all the things that you're going through. This is when you're just talking a bunch about nothing. You're rambling.
Yes.
You're just rambling.
Yep.
And you're going through from one thing to the next and nothing is making sense.
Yep.
It's just like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Have you ever spoke to somebody, right? And they're just going on and they're just explaining something to you, be it in person or on the phone, and you fall asleep, or
I tell them to land the plane. I'm like, okay, land the plane. Come on.
Right. Your mind just drifts off somewhere and it's just like, wait, what were they saying again? And then and then what they'll say to you is, are you listening to me? And I'm just like, yeah. What was the last thing I said? Well, I know you were saying something about this particular thing. And they're like, you're not listening. I'm like, I miss so much because I kind of started tuning out.
Right.
You don't want your audience to tune out because you're talking about nothing.
Yep.
And I've seen it many a times in courses and posts and trainings and things that I've invested my hard-earned money in.
Yep.
And it's just like, I'm really looking now and I'm just like, what are they talking about?
Right.
Like, what is the point?
What is the point?
And here's what I mean when you're talking about nothing. This is nothing to your audience.
Right.
It all started back in 1995. I had a vision and I wanted to do this. And now I've made $5 million.
Right.
I drive luxury cars. I've traveled the world. I've spoken on stages. And I've done all these amazing things. Matter of fact, I was having dinner with Les Brown yesterday. And we were talking about this very same thing. About how we must inspire and lead and educate everyone. And I just thought, hey, I'm just gonna provide resources for people to do the same. You haven't told me anything
yet. You talked about they talked about themselves though. Right.
And that's the nothing.
So listen, I'm sorry.
They haven't talked. They're talking about themselves in a way where it's just nothing.
It's gas in the air. Yeah.
I talked to Les Brown last week, and I'm flying out to see Tony Robbins this week, and we're going to an event, and we were talking and we were discussing just, how this industry has changed.
Right.
And you're still waiting, like
what's the point?
How does this apply to me?
But people mistake that for authentic content, though.
Correct.
That's why I'm laughing, because this is so funny.
Correct. What I'm saying to you is, get rid of the excessive monologuing.
Yes. Ooh.
Get rid of it. Nobody cares. It is absolutely chicken scratch.
Right.
Your audience.
Yep.
My audience doesn't care who I met.
Nope.
Who I've done business with.
No, they don't.
They don't care. They don't care how much money I have. They don't even really care about my personal problems.
Right.
What they care about is how my own experiences relate to them.
Yep.
And how I can help them.
Right. 100%.
So get rid of the monologuing. Some of you out there are talking absolutely. You're saying everything about nothing.
You're talking at your audience, not to them.
Correct.
So saying all the places you travel to, say I've been out everywhere, but I don't say that every time, or it's almost like I just said, you gotta definitely have some basis to what it is that you're saying.
Right.
And talking about.
And we are in an age where the word narcissist is used like,
oh my God,
so loosely. Everybody's a narcissist, right?
Everybody.
So the moment you start to talk like you're completely self-absorbed, you lose people.
That's a trigger for a lot of. I know that's a trigger for me. I will stop watching you like that. Because nobody wants that, and that may not be your intention. We're not diagnosing anybody. None of us are psychologists or whatever. But again, you got to be mindful. Be mindful. Right. Empowerment. I'm always thinking every time I post something, every time, even this conversation, this is empowering you guys. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. So it brings us to our third point and our last point for today, which is something that I see a lot, where is, your messaging, it feels messy because you are being judged.
This is a big one.
It's so important that, our posting and your content may come off confusing. When people feel like you're being judgmental, they do get confused.
Right.
And you're not sounding compelling.
Or angry.
All right. There you go.
Or
angry. Who wants to follow that? Who wants to follow angry person? Hey, LaShawn. Hey, nah. You don't want that. And I get it. Everybody's going through something in their life. I get it. Yoko and I both, we anybody understands, we know. But again, at the end of the day, when you show up on your platforms, guys, the judgmental, the J word, you don't want that to be conveyed to your audience. You just don't. What do you think about that, Miyoko? Because
you're not teaching anymore, you're judging.
Exactly.
And I want to give people an example, because they're going to say, okay, so what's judgmental?
Right.
All right. Here's why. All right, I'm going to show you how to use this in a way where it works. You're spending hours posting content,
Right.
right? And here's why you're doing it wrong. Now, you can say that's judgmental. I'm saying they're doing it wrong, but I'm going to explain to them how. Like,
Yeah.
it's not one of those things where it's not affecting them from a personal level.
Right.
So this, all right, you're doing this particular strategy. Here's why you're doing it wrong, and here's how I'm going to help you.
Right.
That's different. Now, let me show you a judgmental type of post.
Uh-huh.
You're never going to get anywhere in life if you're doing this particular thing.
Uh-huh.
And if you're doing this particular thing, this is the type of person that you are.
Ooh.
And if this is the type of person that you are never going to be successful.
Right. I don't like that.
Now. And then they'll say, now you have to do it my way.
My way or the highway.
My way is the only way.
Supreme being.
My way is the only way to do this, because if you continue to do this, you are going to continue to lose. You're going to continue to lose in life if you don't employ my strategy.
Yes. You know, LaShawn is on here. Her and I had a conversation because there's one particular person that we know that does that, where this person feels that the way their strategy, because it's different, there's different paths to success.
Mm-hmm.
Your path is not the same as mine, vice versa. But we're going to get there.
Right.
Right. And we are there. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't beat it, turns people off. Yes. It turns people off. That's judgmental when you think that this is the way that it is, and that's it. Hey, Louise.
You suck.
Yeah.
Here's why you suck.
Yeah, here's why you suck.
Here's why I don't suck.
Uh-huh.
And here's what you need to do if you don't want to continue to suck.
Exactly.
And it's my way. So here's my solution. If you follow my solution, you will no longer suck.
Yes. Yes.
That's that's the whole judgmental energy.
That's it. That's it. And when you have people with some common sense, and get granted, LaShawn said, I hate it when people think their way is the right way.
So do I.
Miyoko, we are around so many people, business and personal, that think their way is just the right way.
Right.
There's no way around their way. You don't follow their strategy. And this is why a lot of y'all are stuck. Let's get into the personal branding side. You're showing up how they tell you to show up, because they say that's the way.
Right.
You're not being your authentic self. And then you're wondering why you're hitting a wall and why everybody else outside your bubble is making it, because they're doing it their way.
Right. So I want to point out.
Yeah.
Your approach may be unique.
Yep.
Your approach gets results.
Yes.
It's the right way for your people. It's not the right way for everybody.
Everybody. That's right.
And this is how a lot of coaches teach you. They teach you that, or service providers or entrepreneurs. Go to this, my proven method, and do it this way, and you can't lose.
Yeah.
What if my personality doesn't align with your approach?
Exactly. Yeah.
What if I'm not good on video?
Right. Right. Right.
What if I'm great at articulating myself through words?
What
if I'm not great on video or articulating myself through words? But when I get on a stage, I'm in my element.
You're in your element. That's right.
So not everything.
And everybody can see that.
Right. So not everything works for everybody.
That's right. That's right.
So you can't say your way is the right way for everyone, but your way should be the right way for your people.
That's right. And let's talk about leadership, because that falls into leadership too, Miyoko, as you know.
For sure.
That as a leader, not everybody who you're leading is even going to be, the approach is the same.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You may be leading some people who may work at a slower pace or be more technical. And you may be around, work with people like myself who are like, hey, just show me the A, B, and C and I got it. You know? Right. You may be around some people. So you with leadership, you got to be flexible when it comes to your influence, because everybody that comes to you is not going to be just like you. And I had to come to terms with that as well. But at the end of the day, it's almost like my son, right? He's here. He just turned 18 yesterday. We're going to vote for the first time today. And we did a math problem, Miyoko. And how, you know how when you grow up in school in math, they teach you how to do a formula a certain way. Mm-hmm. We came up with the same answer, but we did it 2 different ways. I'm trying to teach him my way, right? But he's understand. Either way, we came up with the same answer.
Right.
So when it comes to leadership, me leading him, us both leading our businesses, we can't be judgmental and think, oh, this person's lazy or this person's not, is this way. When you're leading, you define what it is that's going to get that person to move from A to B.
So
yeah,
it can be said, you might want to write this down.
Write it down. I'm going to type it.
It takes different methods for some people to get the same result.
There you go.
The way that I teach and the way that somebody can relate to me, we can have the same objective, Letitia, me and you, right?
Yep, you and I.
It's the same result we want them to get. They get with you, it just doesn't happen. Yeah. They get with me, they shoot through the moon.
Shoot to the moon. There you go.
If somebody else gets with you, they shoot to the moon.
Yep.
So is it safe to say, and you guys can type a yes or no in the chat.
Yeah.
Or if you agree, is it safe to say that it's not really that they can only get that result with you?
Yeah.
Because we're all looking for the same results and things.
Yeah.
You know, more money, more confidence, those particular things, like knowing ourselves and being authentic, being in our true selves and growing our brand, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people have the same objectives. They want the same results. Mm-hmm. But our people come to us because they can relate and connect to the methods that we use for them to get those results. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work for everybody, but for our people, it works for them.
Works for them. You just broke that down. I want y'all to put in the chat. It takes different methods for some people to get to the same result. And when you have that judgmental personality, you can't get anybody to any result other than the very small few.
Right.
You know, and those very small few may be afraid to tell you like it is, you know, for whatever reason, whether it be cultural or they've known you for a long time. But we live in an era where people they're tired of it. They're tired of it. You know what I mean? It's not like back in the day where you had a boss, you got to deal with the boss, and you had a mentor, you deal with them. It's like people, there's so many other influential people out there that people are going to bounce around till they find the person who's the right fit for them. And that's important. I feel like that's a skill for us to get out of that judgmental mindset. I mean, we all do it from one time or other, but when you want to help people, you have to understand that to get to the results, not going to be the same for everyone.
Right.
It's not. Even how we teach personal branding and leadership and email marketing, all the things is way different for everybody else. This is why people even commented that there is no traffic in our lane. There is no traffic in our lane. So LaShawn said it's like that in network marketing. I saw that comments. That's true. That's true. In that, you know, they even in life insurance, they give you a script and they stick to this script. And it's like, wait a minute. This doesn't even sound like me, you know?
Until you run up on somebody, you're like, you're being too pushy. I told you I think about it. I don't want this. Like, and it's very interesting because I was on the phone with a colleague and somebody had came to her door and they were doing solar paneling. Oh. And she said, you know what, sir, I'm going to stop you. I'm not interested. And the next thing he said was, okay, you're not interested. That's cool. I'm not trying to sell you anything, but I'm just out here trying to get a free. She said, I'm not interested. Uh-huh. Then he tried to do the same thing again. Now she's about to get irate.
Yeah.
She said, listen, I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah.
He was just like, okay, I understand, ma'am. You may not be right. She was like, leave me alone.
Uh-huh.
Goodbye.
Uh-huh.
And then he said, have a nice day. Now, because of that scripting and how he was taught, that may have done something to him emotionally, you know, and gave him some fear of rejection.
Yeah.
Because now that's what he's doing.
Right.
So instead of following a more organic approach, they have you do these scripts and they say, it's our way. This is the right way.
Yep.
Results. And do it for everybody. Everybody is going to be this way.
Yeah.
You ran up on somebody that clearly didn't relate to how he was doing things.
Right.
And he kept pushing. He kept pushing. He tried to force his way into a connection.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, don't try to force your way to connect with people.
Don't try it. Don't make it about you.
And that's the judgmental thing. You're forcing it away.
That's right. I prefer you come, like, even outside of scripts, think about scenarios. Like if you're out there in the field, this goes for any industry. Like the scenario you just said, really based upon what your strategy going to be based on the scenario of the conversation. So that way it's organic. So if I'm meeting you, I'm going to ask you, well, how many children you have? Are you married? You know, those type of things. So that way you can weave in what it is you're offering based on the scenario. You can individualize it to the person, just saying, well, sentence one, this is what I'm going to say. Then they respond. Then I'm going to say this, you know, that's why it's great to have conversations, you know, with people versus just going right in with the scripts. But I love this topic. I mean, we could talk about this all day.
This is a good one.
Yeah, but if y'all got any value out of this, go ahead and type in 1 in the chat. Give us a 1 in the chat. We would love to.
Who hasn't purchased their tickets yet?
Oh yeah, let's talk about that real quick. Type in 2 if you have not purchased your ticket yet for our Your Brand, Your Breakthrough Evolution Tour. Go ahead and type in 2. We ain't gonna beat y'all up and be judgmental. Yes, tell us why. Why have you gotten your? Oh, these are good questions. So type in 2 you have not gotten your ticket yet, and let us know why you haven't gotten your ticket.
And we're going to be calling some of y'all too.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be calling. Yes, we're definitely going to be calling you guys for sure. I already started text messaging y'all and all the things because y'all need to be a part of this, whether you're watching from the comfort of your home or you're coming in person. I want to wedge in and focus on August 16th. Somebody go ahead and put August 16th in the chat. August 16th in the chat. Do me a quick favor, put that in. That's going to be our very first stop here in New York. Okay, it's going to be our very first stop. And not only is going to be an amazing event, but you guys are going to walk away with so much. Okay, you know, clarity on your messaging, building up that confidence online and offline. You know, Annette, she's in the chat here. Her and I have been all over Queens for the past 2 weeks. People need to see your face. They need to know your name. When you're around political people, influential people in your town, they need to see your face. They need to know what you do. You know, and the reason why some people that don't have it because it's the lack of confidence. It's that lack of confidence. We want to teach you guys that during the tour and so much more. What did you want to say, Miyoko?
I was going to say action takers are difference makers.
Yes.
You don't take any actions, you are not going to make a difference. Period.
You're not going to make a difference.
Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
You're not going to do that sitting from behind the laptop.
Nope.
It's not going
to. You got to get out there.
You got to get out. You have to connect with people that have access to resources.
Mm-hmm.
That have access to information that you can implement and that you can further your mission, your message, everything that you need to do to grow your business, not only just your business, but yourself.
That's right. So
take action. You cannot make a difference in your life or anybody else's if you're not taking action. Period.
You got to take action, y'all. And, you know, we can easily do this event, Miyoko, online, make a little summit style. Miyoko and I have done tons of summits together throughout the year. But the real value is going to come for us actually making this an actual event where you guys can come, get the knowledge and experiences that you need, be able to network within the room, right? To get around other like-minded people. And it's needed. It's going to be here in New York. I see Luis is in the comments. Luis is in Staten Island. So Luis, get your in-person tickets, sis, because you definitely need to be in the room. Okay. And you know, and some of you guys on here, you know, if you're in the area, what is it, tri-state area?
Yep.
Gotta come. Gotta come. Okay, gotta come in person. I strongly encourage you guys to come.
No excuse.
I cannot say enough on how I'm getting goosebumps about this event. I really am. We put a lot of work, tears, energy, blood, sweat into this event. We don't want to, bonuses and all that. I mean, when you have something that you're creating, and those of you who already taken the leap and signed up, and you know for a fact the shift that's about to happen, like Miyoko and I are doing a shift for, like, we're going to make a lot of y'all out there who is talking about the same topics as us nervous. And I'm saying that confidently. Because there's a shift.
It's going to be different.
It's a shift. Okay. It is going to be a lot of fun. That's more important. We love to make our events fun. So, Luis, you make sure you go to link, Luis, and get your tickets, sis, because we still have in person available. We're not going to have 100 people in the room. We're going to keep this
No.
small and intimate. So, the spaces are sort of getting a little limited. So, make sure you grab your ticket as soon as possible. But those of you who are outside the tri-state area, get your virtual ticket. Get your virtual ticket. All right. Go ahead and grab it. All right, y'all. So that's all we have today. We're gonna let Miyoko get back to his birthday. Y'all, do it quick back. Y'all better say happy birthday in the chat.
Cut it out.
On Friday. He's turning 24. It's Friday.
24.
Yes. Look, it's gonna be on Friday.
If I knew what I knew now at 24.
Me too. Oh my God. We probably went back. But it's an amazing, just celebrate, give him his happy birthday. He's an amazing brother of Christ. Okay, absolutely amazing. Wait till y'all get to experience him in person. It's going to be the next level. It really, really is. So, Miyoko, I know I'm going to call and text you on that day, but I'm going to wish you an early happy birthday.
Oh, please, I talk to you every day.
Okay, you're an amazing person.
Don't let her fool you, y'all. I talk to her every day.
Every day, but I was just in case. I would say get my happy birthday.
Thank you so much, ladies. I appreciate it so much.
Yes. But we're gonna leave you guys with this again, amazing topic. Make sure y'all go back and rewatch it. Make sure if you didn't grab your ticket, Luis, grab your ticket.
Right. We're still doing deposits for a short time.
Yes.
For the
we gotta close that out soon. So the deposit option is still available, guys, but that's going to be closed out very soon because August 16th is right around the corner. And make sure you guys, if you're interested, at least get in your deposit to come to join us. It's a very small deposit, okay? But again, thank you guys for wishing Miyoko the happy birthdays. We won't be back on tomorrow because tomorrow's Juneteenth. So make sure y'all celebrating your Juneteenth celebration. Make sure early voting is there. Make sure y'all get out there and vote. Okay, my son and I are going to vote right after this. And we love y'all. Y'all have a great day. Bye, guys.